What if I told you that this one idea could help you build so much discipline that in 6 months' time your entire life would be unrecognizable? Because that's what it did for me. I went from procrastinating every work block, skipping the gym and not having an ounce of discipline in my body to winning a British weightlifting championship and building a 6-figure business, all thanks to this one idea that helped me effortlessly unlock insane discipline on command. So stick to the end of this video and I'll show you how you can also build insane discipline on command and the one idea that will make it effortless. But the secret to unlocking discipline all starts with you understanding why you struggle with discipline in the first place, otherwise you'll never be able to build it. Imagine everyone has to wear a pair of glasses, but these glasses are tinted. Some people have red glasses, some people have blue glasses, and some people have green glasses. Well, imagine you come across a sign that when it's red you have to stop and wait for it to turn green before you can move. If you're wearing red glasses, that sign is always going to be red and therefore you're always going to be stuck standing there waiting for it to change colours. You believe you're doing the right thing because to you the sign always looks red, but yet you're wrong. Your red glasses just don't let you see the sign change to green. And so you'll never move. You'll continue to stand there because the way you see the world, which is red, makes you believe you have to stand there. This is exactly why nobody could run a 4-minute mile until Roger Bannister came along and did it in 1954, and since then over 1,700 people have officially ran a sub 4-minute mile. You see, nobody could run a 4-minute mile before Roger Bannister because they thought it was impossible. They believed they couldn't do it. Just like your red tinted glasses make you believe the sign is red and you have to stand there. The point here is this: you cannot act outside of what you believe to be true. But how does this tie into you building discipline? Well, think of it like this. If you're trying to build a business, but you believe money to be scarce and that there's not a lot of it out there, how can you expect to build a successful business? Every action you take and every decision you make will be through the tinted lens of your belief that there's not a lot of money out there and that only a few lucky people ever get it. And so you will self-sabotage to make sure you never get any money and to prove to yourself that your belief is true. Discipline is no different. Your actions are limited by the beliefs you have around yourself, or in other words, your identity. If you struggle to be disciplined, it's because you believe you are and that you have the identity of someone who is undisciplined, or someone who hates hard work, or someone who can't focus, and so you will act in accordance with that belief. Anytime you try to do anything disciplined, you will sabotage yourself and procrastinate or run back to your vices and bad habits just to prove that your belief about yourself and the world is true. You are wearing a pair of tinted glasses that tells you the world and yourself is this certain way, and in turn limits the actions you can take. Your red glasses limit you to standing still because you believe the sign is still red, and that is why you're not disciplined. You believe for whatever reason that you're not disciplined or that discipline is hard, and so you act accordingly. And so the secret to effortlessly unlocking insane discipline on command is taking off those damn red glasses. You have to change your beliefs around yourself and shift your identity. And look, I know that's quite an abstract concept, so I'm not just going to leave you hanging like that. I'm going to give you 2 simple steps that you can do right now during this video, after this video, right now, to help you shift your identity and unlock insane discipline on command. And this first step is one that should be pretty obvious by now. You need to swap out your glasses. You see, you are wearing red glasses right now. Well, not literally, but you can't just take them off and not wear any glasses because you're human. Remember, your glasses represent your identity, or in other words, your beliefs about yourself and the world. And as a human, you're always going to have beliefs and certain perceptions about how things work. So we can't just take the glasses off. But what we can do is swap them out. And so you need to swap out your red glasses for a pair of green glasses so that the damn sign is green and you can start going somewhere. So how do you do that? Well, obviously it's not as simple as finding a pair of green glasses. No, you need to shift your identity into a more advantageous light. You need an identity that believes you can be disciplined and that discipline and doing hard work is easy, so that you can stop sabotaging yourself and actually act in a disciplined way that is in accordance with your beliefs. The best thing about this is that you can use this technique for anything, not just discipline. Remember, if you think money is scarce and you're doomed to be broke forever, you will act accordingly and keep sabotaging yourself to keep yourself broke and confirm your beliefs. But you can just shift your identity to become someone who thinks money is abundant and it's only a matter of time before you become rich, so that you can actually start acting like that and actually do the right things to get money. And so what you want to do here is ask yourself one specific question. If I was disciplined, what would that look like? And then you want to write about the best version of you that you could be in that context. What would the most disciplined version of you look like? But you have to write about yourself in a very specific way. You have to write about yourself in the third person and as if you are already that person. For example, Ross Harkness is a disciplined, driven, focused and successful entrepreneur. He finds doing hard things and being disciplined easy and natural. Discipline is his natural state and ignoring impulses and cheap pleasure is easy. So easy he doesn't even consider them. Ross is the master of himself and his mind, making discipline the obvious option in every situation. He hits the gym without a second thought, he does hours of deep work without hesitation and he enjoys every second of it. And so you need to do this for you. Writing about the most disciplined version of you in the most detail you can. But doing this alone isn't going to shift your identity, and so you need to combine it with step 2. Imagine your identity is like a container. That container can only hold so much liquid. When you start this process, your container is full of liquid A, your old identity. And as you follow step 2, you add liquid B, your new identity, to the container, forcing out your old identity until eventually your container is full of your new identity, meaning you can then act entirely in accordance with your beliefs. You can now be disciplined. So what is step 2? Well, first you need to understand how identities are formed, otherwise step 2 won't work for you. Your identity is just a collection of beliefs you have about yourself and the world. These beliefs are formed through either trauma, which I hate that word, I think it's completely overused, or repeated experience. So if you had the repeated experience as a child of your parents telling you that they couldn't afford to pay the bills, that repeated experience will make you believe money is scarce and that you're doomed to be broke and struggle to pay the bills. And of course, since this is your belief, you will then act in accordance with that belief and sabotage yourself in the future and end up being broke, struggling to pay the bills. This is a large reason you see repeating cycles through generations. But with knowing beliefs are formed through repeated experience, you now know how to build new beliefs that favor you. And so step 2 is to create your reprogramming protocol. This is 2 parts. Part 1 requires you to understand placebos. A placebo occurs when you have a group of people and split them into 2 groups. You give group A a pill that has a certain effect. You give group B a pill that has sugar in it, but tell them it's the real pill. And so what happens is that group B, who got a pill with sugar in it, gets the same effects as group A. Now, how on earth does this happen? Well, it's because you act in accordance with your beliefs. If you believe you got the real pill with these certain effects, your body will create those effects simply because you act in accordance with your beliefs, whether those beliefs are true or not. And the people in group B believed that they should have got those effects, and so they get them. When the people in group B get a sugar pill, they imagined that they got the real pill. And so your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience and a real experience. Otherwise, placebos could not exist. So part 1 of your reprogramming protocol is to read the document that you created in step 1 every morning and every night. And no, this is not some hippie manifestation bullshit, okay? This is psychology. By doing this, you're giving yourself a repeated experience by telling yourself who you are each time you read this document, and a repeated experience is how you build beliefs. And remember, your mind cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience and a real experience, and so it will take this experience of you reading this document about who you are as true. When you repeat this daily, you start to build new beliefs. You start to add some of liquid B, your new identity, to the container. When you combine this with the second part of your reprogramming protocol, becoming a disciplined person is inevitable. So underneath your document about who you are, you need to write down training plan. In this area, write down all the habits that the disciplined version of you that you wrote about in step 1 would have. If you work out, write it down. If you do outreach for your business first thing in the morning, write it down. Write down every single habit, whether it's 3 habits or 26 habits, write them all down. Let's say you wrote down 10 habits. You then want to make a 10-week training plan, where in week 1, you focus every single day on building the first habit. In week 2, you focus every single day on building habit 1 and habit 2. In week 3, you focus every single day on building habits 1, 2, and 3. Essentially, each week, you build a new habit aligned with your new identity, and the person you need to become. And so if you had 10 habits, you would have a 10-week training plan. If you had 22 habits, you would have a 22-week training plan. But it doesn't stop there. Underneath your training plan, write down the word evidence. And every single time you do anything that the person you need to become would do, you write it down here. Whether it's doing the habits in your training plan, whether it's walking past the chocolate muffin sitting in your kitchen, whether it's turning your phone off to do some undistracted work on your business, write it down. And if you notice that you're writing down the same things every single day, that's good, because what you're doing here by following this training plan and stacking the evidence is creating repeated experiences. You're proving to yourself that this identity is now you, because you're doing the habits that the disciplined version of you would do, and you're noting down the proof of it. So you're not just adding drops of your new identity into the container, you're fucking pouring it in. When you create this document, when you read it every morning and every night, when you follow this training plan, and when you stack evidence every single day that you are this person, you're creating so much proof and repeated experience that you are this disciplined person. And I can guarantee you that by the end of the training plan, whether it's 4 weeks, 10 weeks, or 52 weeks, you will have completely shifted your identity into being this disciplined person, and discipline will now be effortless. But here's the thing, just because discipline is effortless doesn't mean you'll enjoy doing the hard things. And so if you want to enjoy doing hard things and make your brain actually crave doing them, you need to check out this video here.